Hey guys, Dr. Justin Marchegiani here. Today's video is going to be on the top 3 ways to assess your blood sugar and your inflammation. I connect those two together because high blood sugar can increase inflammation and oxidative stress. So I'm excited to dive into that topic here today. Before I do, please smash the like button. Again, put your comments down below. Really helps the search algorithm. So high blood sugar creates a lot of oxidative stress, right? Oxidation is nothing more than your body losing electrons, and then you have to pull from your antioxidant reserves. This could be vitamin A, E, C, various antioxidants and nutrients kind of help give off their electrons and stabilize the cells and prevents the DNA damage, that free radical stress from happening. And so high levels of blood sugar create a lot of stress, a lot of inflammation in the body. Now, typically with high levels of blood sugar, it's because you're eating excess carbohydrate and your body doesn't have the ability to dispose it. So it either puts it into fat cells, makes new fat cells, puts it into muscles, burns it up, right? So ideally the priority is, hey, there's glucose in the bloodstream, let's burn it up. Oh, we're not burning it, let's store it in the muscle glycogen, stored carbohydrate. Oh, muscle reserves are already tapped. Oh, let's convert it in the liver for fat, and let's convert it in the body for fat. And that's kind of the priority system. So the body is allocating and looking at your resources and seeing where to put it. Now, too much blood sugar is going to increase glucose in the bloodstream, which starts to sugarcoat things and creates oxidative stress, advanced glycation end products. Again, you starts to create peripheral neuropathy, damages the nerves, damages the small vasculature and the capillaries and the blood vessels. And then, of course, plaquing and blockages and all those different things start to happen over time. So how can we assess and test blood sugar? So number one is look at your functional glucose tolerance, see how your body does with sugar during a meal. And again, sugar, you can put sugar in the category of like carbohydrate, right? It could be pure sugar, like refined sugar in a candy bar. It could be fructose from natural fruit with fiber and nutrients. It could be healthy starch that has carbohydrate that gets broken down. It could even be non-starchy vegetables that some do get broken down to carbohydrate and some sugar, right? And so most when we're talking about fructose, usually it's half sucrose, half fructose. And again, the more processed, the less nutrients, the more sugar, the less processed. We eat whole foods, there's fiber that kind of time releases it. Again, more vegetables, non-starchy, less carbohydrate, more fiber, more potassium, more magnesium, good B vitamins. So you get this kind of nutrients in, where on the processed stuff you get more, get less nutrients, more carbohydrate, more inflammation. So a good way to do it is see how you respond to a meal that typically has protein, fat, and carbs in it. Run a fasting glucose before you eat. Do a 1, 2, 3 hour after you eat. See how you do at hour 1. Are you below 140 to 120 in the first hour? Are you below 120 in the second hour? Are you below 100 in the third hour? That's a good way to assess how you're doing regarding your blood sugar. The higher your blood sugar goes, the more insulin you pump out and make to bring it back down. So blood sugar is a great indication of how much insulin you're making. So blood sugar goes up, insulin has to come up. And the whole idea is that as you get more insulin resistant, the more insulin you need to bring that blood sugar back down. So the faster you bring it back down, it's a sign that you're not as insulin resistant. So really good indication. So that fasting 1, 2, 3 hours, great. You can also look at fasting insulin. Ideally under 7 is wonderful. Definitely under 5 is great. Again, as you become insulin resistant, you just need more insulin. So higher levels of insulin, going above 10 starts to tell me that you're starting to become insulin resistant. Next, after that, you could look at A1C. Again, A1C is not the best marker. If your blood cells live a little bit longer, if you have healthy red blood cells, you could live a little bit longer and accumulate more glucose over that time. Could have a higher A1C. If you're a female and you're more anemic, red blood cells live less time with lower iron. And so you may have false low A1C if you're more anemic. So not the best indication for that. You can look at fructosamine for a 7 to 10 day window on blood sugar, on your fructose levels, which is half your glucose. Half of your blood sugar typically comes from fructose and sucrose. Fructose, and sucrose. That's typically what gets broken down into glucose. Just an FYI on that. So in general, fasting insulin's good. Functional glucose tolerance, good. You can run A1C and you could run fructosamine, kind of at that same level, pretty good indication. Don't love fasting glucose. That's like a 12-hour test that runs at conventional medical doctor, because you have 12 hours to clear that blood sugar out. Anyone who has some decent metabolic flexibility, you're going to have time to clear that out, and that may not be a great indication if your blood sugar is really chronically elevated. Plus, you have things like the Samoji effect or the dawn phenomenon, which can be from a cortisol or adrenaline spike in the morning, or it could be from some fatty liver issues. When you have a cortisol spike in the morning, that glucose is there. It's good to go for a walk, good to go burn that up a little bit, good to keep carbohydrates down in the morning if you're noticing that cortisol is really mobilizing a lot of extra glucose. No reason for you to go and consume extra carbohydrates if you're already making a lot of extra glucose anyway. So hope it helps on that front. Again, the different things that we can do to kind of help with nutrition on that, we can do alpha lipoic acid, we can do chromium, vanadium, magnesium. These are excellent nutrients. We can even add in some cinnamon. You can have a product called Glucose Energy that has some of those in there. Wonderful, usually 1 to 2 caps per meal. You can see a significant drop. Go walk 5 to 10 minutes after a meal. You'll see a significant drop as well if the patients go and do a walk at 130 or 140 and get their blood sugar below 100 inside of 10 minutes. So a little bit of movement can be incredibly helpful. Do some push-ups can be also helpful. Get your muscles pumping. If you can clear out a little bit of glycogen by burning it up, which is stored glucose in the muscle, that gives it a little bit more reserve to soak up what's in the bloodstream and pull it back into the muscle. It's like squeezing a rag that you kind of wiped up a table and it's saturated. You squeeze it out a little bit and then you have more absorptive quality to go and clean the rest of the table up. It's kind of like that. So those are a couple of simple strategies. Again, oxidative stress is really bad. Causes your skin to wrinkle, causes you to lose hair and to go gray faster. It causes inflammation in your vasculature, in your eyes, in your fingers and toes, causes nerve damage, so sensation at your finger and toe level, all things that can happen when you cause lots of free radicals, lots of oxidative damage, lots of advanced glycation end products. So stay on top of that. If you want to dive in deeper and look under the hood at what's going on with your vasculature, inflammation, natural strategies, testing, assessing, there'll be a link down below where you can click and reach out to myself and we can dive in, my colleagues as well, to kind of dive in and get to the root cause of that. Again, any questions, put them in the comments. Love to hear it. You guys have a phenomenal day. Reach out to get more support, more telemedicine, virtual support, wherever you're at. All right, thanks a lot. Take care.